Hello friends, welcome back to Witness of the Immaterial, our shadowed corner of the strange, where we breathe life into stories long abandoned. Tonight, I will tell you one of those forgotten tales, a mystical account of an old English house where each night someone coughed in the dark, piercing the silence like a breath from the other side. What you're about to hear is no mere invention. It was recorded over a century ago by a man who lived it. In a worn-down district of Hardy stood an old house. It rested on a flat stretch of land near a quiet English village. A man and his wife lived there, trying to live a peaceful life. A peculiar feature of the house was its stone staircase leading to the second floor. Wide steps, thick with dust, rarely used. No one had lived upstairs for years. The bedroom window faced the staircase. In daylight, it seemed just another part of the house, but at night, the silence was broken by a cough, rough, raspy, dry, like someone gasping for air. Mr. Hardy first heard it on a Friday night. He was sleeping beside his wife when the sound stirred him, faint but distinct. He thought she had woken up, but she lay still. Then the cough came again, louder, closer, ascending the stairs. An uneasy feeling crept over Hardy. He picked up his lantern, rose quietly, and stepped into the hallway. Another cough echoed. He waited, then approached the staircase. The lantern flickered, shadows danced over the worn stone. Silence. He climbed to the top. Nothing. Absolute stillness. No breath, no wind, no steps. He returned to bed. That cough did not come back that night. Weaker now, like a whisper of someone who had long lost the strength to breathe, he returned to bed. That cough did not come back that night. A few days later, it returned. The evening had been peaceful, light rain against the window, the fireplace murmuring warmly. Hardy sat in his chair reading an old newspaper. His wife was knitting by the window. Then, that cough again, directly above them. Sharp, sudden, jarring. Hardy froze. His wife's needles stilled in her lap. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. He nodded. No more pretending, no more excuses. Together, they ascended the stairs. His wife grabbed his arm. On the wall above the prints, a dark, moldy silhouette was etched, as if burned into the plaster. A hunched figure, a cane, stooped shoulders, and an open mouth, forever coughing. Hardy slammed the door. The next morning, he visited their neighbor, Mr. Bryce, an old man who had lived nearby for decades. Hardy told him everything. The old man stared long at the fireplace before speaking. "That house, it used to belong to a doctor, treated the dying. The last man who lived there was strange, always coughing, no visitors, just him and that sound. He died alone, or maybe not quite." Hardy left disturbed. That evening, he tried to convince his wife to sleep downstairs, but the cough came early, as dusk fell. And this time, there was something else. A faint tap, a cane striking the stairs, and a long scratch, like thin fingers dragging across the wall. The next morning, Hardy woke with a splitting headache. His dreams were tangled, as though he had wrestled with something dark all night. His wife sat at the window, silent, pale. "We have to leave," she whispered. "Today." He nodded, but something told him it wouldn't be that easy. Before they left, he decided to search the cellar. The old trap door beneath the kitchen had been nailed shut, but gave way after a few hits with the crowbar. A cold, damp smell rose from below, and something else. Tobacco smoke. But who could have smoked there in the last 100 years? He descended. On the stairs, torn gray fabric, like the frayed edge of a scarf. Below, buried in old junk, was a wooden chest. On it, a faded medical emblem, a serpent wrapped around a cup. Inside, a stethoscope, a silver flask, and a small leather notebook. The first page read, "Patient J.L., chronic tracheitis, nighttime coughing, loss of voice, fear of the stairs, complains of shadows, treatment discontinued, at the request of the deceased?" Hardy flipped ahead. The final pages contained only 2 words, scrawled in trembling hand. "He's coming." As if summoned, the stairs above groaned. Someone was descending, slowly, one step, then another. Hardy looked up. The trapdoor slammed shut. And then, above him, the cough returned. Louder now, right above the hatch. Hardy spent hours in that cellar, maybe longer. Curled in a corner, gripping the lantern, long since dead. The dark was total, like a grave. Above him, the cough continued, ragged, breathless. A thing that shouldn't breathe, but tried to. But the cough never faded. It waited. At last, the trapdoor creaked open. Hardy squinted against the light. It was his wife. She had traced the draft under the floor and refused to leave without him. They climbed out in silence, sat near the kitchen fire until dawn. At sunrise, Hardy spoke. "Today's the last day. We leave." His wife only nodded. But the house had its own plans. As Hardy stepped out of the bedroom, something pulled at his foot. He looked back, his slipper caught between 2 boards. When he leaned down to free it, he saw an eye peering through the crack in the stairs, wet, milky, old, filled with pain and the need to live. He recoiled, grabbed his wife's hand, and left the house without a single glance back. They left that very day. Months later, Hardy received a letter. The house had burned down. Locals said they'd seen flickering lights inside at night, like candles burning in empty rooms. The fire started at the staircase. Hardy never spoke of the house again. He became quieter, more thoughtful. And sometimes, when passing the stairs in their new home, he would freeze, just for a moment. One night, before bed, his wife heard a cough. Just once. Dry. Hollow. She turned to him. Hardy lay with eyes closed, his face peaceful. But on his lips was a trace of ash.